So in the last video I explained that instead of wiring the leads for the crystal chamber LED into the positive sides of the little black boxes in the color channels, which I still don't know the name of, I went ahead and I spliced off the main channels, and I showed you those down here and they were labeled. So I've got the resistors installed. I got the common anode version of the LED this time installed, and I've got all the colors linked up between the crystal chamber and the emitter assembly. So let's take a look. Alright, so this is the cyan setting. What's interesting is when you get close enough you can actually see the different color LEDs. Once this gets installed in the crystal chamber itself, the colors should mix a little better, especially once they get into the crystal. Up close you can actually see the different colors coming out on the different sides of the LED. And then over here you can kind of see where the green is, and then you got the blue. So you can get the little pretty little rainbow thing going on there. But when you get the blade installed, you actually get the full effect. It's a little bright in here, so I'm not going to bother with the blade right now. So we'll do a couple color changes. It's purple. There is orange. I think this is meant to be amber, but it looks more like a lime green. It's got orange in one side and it's got like a green accent. It's green, royal blue, straight up red. So that worked out pretty good. So remember, for a prism, you've got your negative legs are for your color channels, and your return is your positive side. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart again, and we're going to get the 9-pin connector wired up. I know I've gotten a little grief about using this, but once it's all installed, it'll make a lot more sense. Also, now that I've got the replacement star installed, once I get this wired up and I get the rest of this put together, I can go ahead and permanently install it into the upper hilt and move on from there. All right. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, or hit me up on the Custom Saber Shop forums. Look for the Not Another Graflex Build thread. There's a link in the description, and I'll catch you later. Quick update. I've got the upper hilt electronics all wired up. Got the connector. I got everything paired off, so when it gets inserted I can pull the cable bundles out for the rice and recharge ports. I removed a little slot there. Show you why. I have added a small, let's see, here we go. I've added a small jumper in there from the negative of the rice port to the battery negative of the recharge port, and then that way I can have this out separate, and then when it's time I can install it right through there and we're good to go. So I'm not going to do another lighted demonstration again for a little while, because I've got to get the connector installed on the lower chassis and make a temporary jumper while I'm working on the crystal chamber. Speaking of which, went out local smoke shop. I found the sub tank I was looking for to build my crystal chamber. I've got a coil there. It's all vape parts except for the crystal. That fit in there nicely, and when it's ready, the crystal chamber LED will get inserted into the top. The wires come out the bottom, and then the LED sits right there at the top of this little cuff coil looking object right there. Now for the quartz, today I had to learn how to cut quartz. Did it in my backyard with all the necessary safety gear. This stuff is actually pretty dangerous once you get around to it. But I had to shave off a good 7 millimeters off the end of this crystal in order to get it to fit. The good news is it now sits flush with the inside of the top of the crystal chamber, and then the remaining point pokes down and will be sandwiched up against the LED, so I should get a nice bright chamber when it's all said and done.